All right, everybody, welcome to Porch Rants. Happy hump day to you all. I hope you're all doing well. It's Don Chucky here. And tonight we're going to go over a bunch of different things that happened in sports, entertainment, gaming, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. So let's kick it off with the usual obligatory hump day. I had to do that just for fun, get it out of the way. All right, so what we're going to talk about first, as usual, is NFL COVID news. Mostly just because of the fact that the NFL has such a strict policy on COVID and the fact that, you know, players can miss games, miss paychecks. Games could be forfeited if, you know, enough people miss the game that it's important. So I want to at least keep an eye on it. Not too many things this week, but a few things have come up. Eagles tight end Zach Ertz tested positive a couple days ago, so he's on the list. He has to pass 2 tests to come back. Raiders Black Hole fan section co-founder Rob Rivera dies from COVID recently, which is really sad. He, being one of the co-founders of the Black Hole, which is the really big fan section for the Raiders, where all the fans go nuts and stuff. Sad story there. Rams to require COVID vaccines for all home games starting week 7. So if you are not fully vaccinated, you will not be able to go to LA Rams games starting week 7, which is about 4 weeks away. And Bucs Antonio Brown put on COVID list as of the last 24 hours. So that could affect Tom Brady a little bit. I'm not going to expect it to affect him too much. But yeah, so that's the NFL COVID news. We're going to go over NFL scores and games and what was going on, and just kind of, if you have any thoughts, if you watch football, did your team win? Are you 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0? What's going on with your team? We're going to start very briefly with Washington. Washington got a second chance thanks to a offsides penalty on a field goal kick to beat the Giants 30-29. Did they deserve to win? I don't know. I mean, Taylor Heineke played pretty well. The defense didn't play very good, but I mean, again, bailed up by a few penalties and a few bad plays that the Giants did, because there was one particular pass that if they would have caught it, they would have scored a touchdown. He was way wide open, like super wide open. It hit him in the hands, and he dropped it right around the end zone, which is very sad, but that's what happens sometimes. So what are you going to do? You know, a win's a win. With Washington, I'll take a win. It wasn't a very convincing win, but you know how it goes. Bears-Bengals. Bears won 20-17 against the Bengals. Doesn't surprise me, except for the fact that, you know, their quarterback got injured. Andy Dalton went out. Rookie came in and did enough to win. I'm going to go over the games that I called and the games that, like, really shocked me for the week as well, like I always do, which will be fun. Called it, or boy was I wrong. One of my new little segments I have here on this show, because I feel like calling myself out. If I'm wrong, you know? Doesn't hurt my feelings. But one game I definitely called right was the Bills over the Dolphins. Buffalo Bills steamroll the Dolphins 35-0, including knocking out their quarterback and injuring him, which is not a good thing, but that's life, unfortunately, in the NFL. So, I mean, all I can really say is I hope he gets better, but the game's a game. You know, you have to play to win. Your backups have to step up. Their backups didn't step up. Patriots beat the Jets 25-6, another game I called easily. A game I did not call was the Raiders beating the Steelers. I don't know what's going on with the Steelers. We're going to talk about that a little bit, where the are the Raiders for real, because they just look really good. They're 2-0, and nobody expected that at all. Not one person that I know would have expected that the Raiders were 2-0, but I mean, here we are. We're, you know, in a world where the Las Vegas Raiders are 2-0. My week 1 picks, I went 8-8, so I split it 500, which is pretty good. This past week, I did a lot better. I went 12-4. I'm hoping to keep that streak going, because, I mean, let's face it, the more picks I get right, the better I look. But I definitely called games like the Patriots, the Bills, Panthers, and the Bucs. They all easily won, no problemos. I still can't believe the LA Raiders with the big upset over the Steelers, and then the Ravens upsetting the Chiefs in the final moments was kind of shocking to me. I would have expected Pat Mahomes to come through But I mean, they could not stop Lamar Jackson. They could not stop that offense. When they had to, when they went for it on fourth down, they went for it and they had it, and it was it. It was over. It wasn't good. The Chiefs do not have a very good defense this year. It's pretty worrisome because in that division, you're probably going to need a decent defense because all 4 teams are good. All 4 teams in that division are actually really good right now. They're either 2-0 or 1-1. So that's going to be a tough division to figure out with the AFC West, but that's my own opinion, obviously. If you have an opinion, let me know. I don't know if anybody has any favorite sports teams in here, but if you do have a favorite sports team, let me know. I'm a Washington fan, but I'm also just a fan of football in general. So I love football. I love watching it. I love talking about it. I wrote down my picks, didn't I? I hope I did. Did I write down my picks? Yes, I did. Good. Thank God. All right. Now we're going to get to noteworthy news and opinions. Are the LA Raiders for real? We're going to break down some stats real quick on the LA Raiders. They are the Las Vegas Raiders. They are 2-0. They are at the top of the division. 59 points scored, 44 points against. They look great. I mean, Derek Carr has 817 total passing yards, 66.7 completion percentage, which isn't bad, 8.8 yards average per pass, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 5 sacks allowed. I mean, that's not terrible. His rating is a 104. I mean, he looks great. They don't really have much of a running game. Their running game is really bad. Like, really bad. They have barely run for 134 yards with all their runners together so far in the first 2 games of the season. That's not going to be good for the later part of the season, but for now, they're getting away with it. Mostly because, again, their passing attack has been really good, and their defense has 5 sacks and a pick, which is pretty good. They've also forced 2 fumbles and recovered both of them. So, I mean, that's really good. You have to think about that. Turnovers win games a lot of the time. And plus, they've got a pretty good returning stats for kick returns, which is good. I don't know. Do I think they're going to keep winning? I mean, it's tough to tell after 2 games. Their next 5 games before the bye week include Miami, LA Chargers, Chicago, Denver, and Philadelphia. So 1 division game. But honestly, they could beat Miami, they could beat Chicago, and they could beat Philly. So I mean, if they go 3-2 in these next 5 games, they're gonna look really good because they're gonna be 5-2 going into the bye week. That's like probably the best case scenario for them. But I guess we'll find out. I'm not sure. What they're thinking as far as everything goes. But I mean, with the Dolphins having a backup quarterback in there because Tua's injured, the Chargers are hit or miss. I mean, they blew it against Dallas, but they beat Washington barely, like only by a few points. Chicago has their rookie quarterback in. Denver's kind of a toss-up. Their defense looks pretty good, but their offense is kind of okay. And then the Eagles are still figuring it out. I'd say they have a decently favorable schedule, but after the bye week is where it's going to get interesting. But we'll find out. All right. Number 2, will Carson Wentz ever start in the NFL again? I mean, he's had some serious problems. From being on the COVID list earlier this year to having issues with injury in previous seasons with the Eagles, and then now with the Rams, with the Colts, he broke both of his ankles. How do you break both of your ankles? I will never understand that. I will never understand it at all. But I mean, at the same time, I guess that's just what happens. He just has bad luck, man. I don't know if he's ever going to start again. Will we get a chance this season? Probably, but after the season, I don't know. I'm really not sure, and I hate to say that because, I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He just had some bad luck, which isn't good for him. But, I mean, again, tough to tell. We'll see. So, I don't think Carson Wentz is going to start very much longer in the NFL, but that's just my own opinion. All right, when will the Deshaun Watson situation get resolved? So if you didn't hear about Deshaun Watson and all the bull happened there, apparently he's had some issues with some women in the Houston area, and the problem is we don't know, like, if it's is it going to court? What's going on with it? We're just waiting on the lawsuits. He's got 22 civil suits filed between March and April for coercive and lewd behavior. And we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. 22 women came up against him. This guy, but somehow he's still on an NFL team, which makes no sense to me at all, in my opinion. I'll never understand. It makes no sense to me at all. But I guess at the same time, I don't know. Maybe there's something we don't know that we're going to find out. I'm not positive. All I can really say is this. I just hope it gets figured out, whether it's his fault or not, or whatever happens, I can't believe that people were, when he was trying to be traded, that they were asking for like 6 picks, like 2 or 3 first rounders and some other shit. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get that kind of stuff for him. What is wrong with you? Why are you even asking for that kind of shit? Which is, I think, is ridiculous. But again, that's my own opinion. I don't know exactly what is going on with it. I haven't followed it super closely. The only thing I really know is that he's accused of really bad behavior, and these incidents cited suits that occurred between March 2020 and March 2021. 2 of them have publicly identified themselves on April 6th. His statements describe their encounters. And I mean, as far as I know, we don't know what's really going to happen next. They've begun an investigation. We don't know if the NFL is going to do anything like put him on a list. This could span out for a pretty long time, which is sad because, I mean, that's a big deal. It really is, unfortunately, a big deal. But what are you going to do? You just got to keep rolling with it. I'm surprised he's still on an NFL team, but that's just my opinion. I don't think he's going to be on there for much longer. Alright, the NFL taunting penalties. Are they good or bad? So if you haven't heard about the NFL taunting penalties, basically, a lot of people are pissed off about them because of the fact that, a player does a really good play and then he showboats in front of another player. That could be construed as taunting, and then there's a 15-yard penalty and the play's taken away. But what is considered taunting exactly? Even if you don't dance next to the person, or you don't do whatever the heck you're doing next to the person, is that still considered taunting? What is the determining factor of this? Do they have like a perfect way to figure this out? I mean, somebody spun the ball on the ground after making a catch, and he was flagged for taunting as he evidently spun the ball too close to the face of the Browns defender who was defending him on that play. I personally think that's kind of stupid. I don't understand it, but that's just my opinion. Again, you have to understand here that the athletes want to celebrate a little bit, and you really do have to determine what is a penalty and what's not. You can't just, gray area it and guess and just decide what's a penalty and what's not. Either it's a penalty or it's not. Figure it out. It's a big deal. 15 yards and taking away a touchdown or a big key first down is a humongous deal as far as I'm concerned for the NFL. So, I mean, yeah. Get your shit there, refs. We're already tired of it. It's only week 2. Alright, how lucky was Washington for the offsides penalty to happen against the Giants? Well, I mean, we got another kick attempt 5 yards closer to the end zone, and we kicked it, and it was good. So yeah, I'd say we were very lucky. Our defense didn't really give us very much help in that game. They're still trying to figure out some stuff, which I guess is okay, but at the same time, no offense, I would have liked to see a little bit more defensive play on our part. I would have liked to see Washington step up a bit. We're at a time now where we need to figure out our identity between our defense, which is supposed to be really good because of our front 4 all being first round picks, and then the fact that the offense is coming together now with some better weapons, which is pretty good. We'll see what happens. Still long season to go. I don't have very many expectations. If we can go 8-9 or 9-8, I'll be pretty happy. It would be great if we went 10-7, but I doubt it. We'll see what happens. We have a big test up against Buffalo, and I'll be giving you guys my picks here in a moment. So We are going to turn our page now to Washington. I'm going to talk about the offense and defense and what they can do against Buffalo, if anything, as far as how they can win. So, here's the deal. What do I think of Taylor Heineke's performance so far? I think he's done admirably. I think he's done just fine. 458 total passing yards, 73.8 completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, only 1 sack allowed. Not bad at all. Really, not bad. Like, could he do better? I mean, sure, but he's still getting his feelers out there as a starting quarterback. He's still figuring out the offense. There's a lot to it. But yeah, he's doing well, and I'm very excited and happy about it. I think that there's a lot of room to grow for him. And I do think that the offense literally will be running through him for the rest of the season. I don't see Fitz coming back unless he really screws up. Unless Heineke just shits the bed or gets hurt. Knock on wood that doesn't happen because Fitz already got hurt. That's what it'll take, and I'm really hoping that doesn't happen because that would be bad. Our running game has been okay, but I'd like to see more from the running game. We have only rushed for 213 total yards between 2 games. I want to see that number bigger because Antonio Gibson, our main running back, has only rushed 159 of those, averaging just under 80 yards a game. He's had 2 fumbles, no touchdowns. Big deal. Very big deal. This needs to change. We need better production from our running back. We really do. Because, yes, we can throw the ball now. We're much better at that. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to rely on the running game some. I like the running game. I personally love the running game. When I play Madden, that's my big thing. Run the ball. Take away time off the clock. Wear down the defense. When you can both run the ball and pass, you can use play action. You can use other deceitful things like the read option and then run pass option. Different things to confuse the defense. Reverses and all sorts of fun things. It helps out at the end of the day. So yeah, I want to see that more. Okay, we're going to talk about the defense now because our wide receivers are good. I don't need to talk too much about them. We know who our good wide receivers are. Defense needs to step the fuck up. We only have 8 passes defended, 1 interception, and 6 total sacks. I'm sorry, that's not enough. 12 tackles for a loss is okay. 1 fumble force, 1 fumble recovery, but where are all the sacks? 2 games? We should have more than 6 sacks total. Where's Chase Young? Doesn't even have a sack. Kendall Fuller has a sack. Jonathan Allen has 3 sacks. Montez Sweat has 2 sacks. Chase Young doesn't even have a sack. He has 2 tackles for a loss, which is okay. I know they're chipping him and they're, doubling him and tripling him. He's got to find a way around it. That's just what the great players do. Good to great. You have to be able to do that. And remember, they can't block everybody. Montez Sweat can have a big game. Jonathan Allen can have a big game. Daron Payne can have a big game. I don't care who has a big game, but they all need to produce. That 4 down line needs to just go after people and eat them up so that the rest of their defense can actually keep track of their zones, not do too much, and actually cover the field, because that's been the biggest problem. People are trying to do too much, and the next thing you know, guess what? Somebody's wide open in the zone. Somebody catches a 3rd down and 16 and gets a goddamn 1st down. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating. I'll never understand it, but that's what we deal with in the NFL sometimes. Now, can we beat the Bills? Is there a formula to beat Buffalo? Honestly, my formula to beat Buffalo would be keep them off the field. Josh Allen's an MVP candidate type of quarterback now. He's gotten his lumps together and he's looking really good. So in my opinion, what would I do? I would personally run the ball more. Try to keep time of possession, score touchdowns on every drive, not field goals. Field goals don't win games. Except at the end of the game when you have to kick that 1 field goal. You need touchdowns. And then the defense has to actually step up. You have to be able to cover people. If we look at the Buffalo Bills, they look pretty good. They're a good team. They're probably going to win the AFC East this year. That's my opinion. But we'll find out. But Buffalo looks great. Josh Allen isn't completing that many passes, only 56%. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 4 sacks. We have a chance to get to him, but he's mobile. He's definitely mobile. He's definitely better overall than the other two quarterbacks that we face this year. We have to cover Stephon Diggs really well. Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley, they're all going to be problems for us, just basically because of the fact that, Cole Beasley is a drag type receiver. Emmanuel Sanders, big play guy. Stephon Diggs, big play guy. These are the kind of things we have to cover. We have to actually cover our zones, keep our responsibilities. Don't try to do too much. Only do what you need to do. Don't over pursue. Don't try to make a play happen that isn't there. Cover your assignment and then go from there. That's Ron Rivera talked about that a lot on the radio, because I listened to his interview with the Junkies over here in DC, 106.7 The Fan. Big fan of it. And I'll tell you that's what they need to do. They need to figure that shit out. All right. Now it's time for the Week 3 picks. On the record, these are the teams that I believe are going to win this coming week. This will be posted on YouTube. This will be posted on Twitter. This will be posted a lot of different places, because this upload of the podcast should be up right before kickoff on Thursday night. That's why I do it tonight, so that it's all on the record before the game starts. All right, who wins? I've got the Bills over Washington, Browns over the Bears, Ravens over the Lions, Titans over the Colts, Chiefs over Chargers, Saints over Patriots, Giants beat the Falcons, Bengals beat the Steelers, Cardinals beat the Jaguars. Wait a minute. Broncos beat the Jets. Yeah, Broncos will destroy the Jets. Raiders beat the Dolphins, Rams over Bucks, Seahawks over Vikings, Niners over Packers, Cowboys over Eagles. Let me give you a little bit of insight as to why I think these are going to happen. So first of all, with Washington, I don't really have faith in them going into Buffalo and winning. That's just my opinion, though. If we win, that's great. Good surprise, but I just don't buy it. My own opinion. I mean, Browns over the Bears. Bears starting a rookie quarterback. He's not that good. He's okay. He's still very raw. No chance. Ravens over Lions. I don't trust Jared Goff yet. He looks okay, but not great. Ravens are on fire right now. Titans over Colts. I mean, Carson Wentz broke both of his ankles. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is in Indianapolis. And I may not know who's starting in Tennessee, but they've got Derrick Henry. They can run the ball all day. Colts do not have that great of a run defense. Chiefs over Chargers. That's kind of a gimme, flip 'em, pick 'em type of game, but I'm going Chiefs. Chiefs bounce back. They usually don't lose 2 games in a row, so you know how that goes. Giants over Falcons. Somebody has to win their first game, so we'll see what happens. That's kind of a gimme charity game. Speaking of charity, we are trying to raise money for Reproductive Cancer Awareness Month. So if you feel like donating and supporting the cause, the link is right there. Even $1 helps. If you can't donate, sharing the link also helps, because we're just trying to raise awareness to this horrible disease so more people can become long-term survivors, just like my wife did. So, please check out that link if you're able to. Bengals over Steelers. I mean, Big Ben's hurt. I don't know if he's going to be out for the game, but he's hurt. So we're going to see what happens there as far as, what do they do? What's going to happen? And can they win with an injured quarterback? I don't know. Cardinals over Jaguars. Jaguars look terrible. Cardinals look great. Easy pick. Broncos over Jets. I mean, another easy pick. Raiders over Dolphins. Tua's injured. Raiders will steamroll them. I think the Rams will edge out the Bucs just because of their defense, and I have a lot of faith in Matthew Stafford. It'll be an interesting test for the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's. Seahawks over Vikings. I don't buy the Vikings at all. Niners over Packers. I don't think the Packers are organized enough to beat the Niners. Niners just have to stay on the gas pedal. They can't let up. Cowboys over Eagles. Another kind of gimme game, to be honest with you, within the division. Mostly just because of the fact that you have to think about, what could happen, what will happen, what should happen, what's going to happen. I mean, the division is always tight. It's always one of those things where you just don't know who's going to win. But I'm going to say that I do think that I do seriously think some people have a better chance to win than others. I just wonder who is going to get on top, and that's where this comes from. The division for the NFC East has always been a tough one because nobody's repeated as the winner since like 2004. So now we're going to go over the who sucks less pick of the week. The worst game of the week, the snooze fest, the game that nobody really is going to watch unless you're absolutely a fan of the teams. It has to be the Falcons at the Giants. Why would you want to watch two 0-2 teams fight each other? Like, what's going to come from this? Honestly, I think the Giants are going to just destroy the Falcons unless the Falcons figure something out. But if they tie, that would be the funniest shit I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, the absolute just funniest shit. So that's the majority of the NFL news. We have one other little nugget that we just found out about recently and I want to talk about. So the Washington quarterback Taylor Heinicke has been kind of looking for a sponsorship with Heineken because obviously his last name is Heinicke. Heineke for Heineken, it goes together. Remember, I have to buy a 12-pack of Heineken and drink 2 of them because they did win the game and he threw 2 touchdown passes. So I am going to definitely honor that and drink some Heineken later. However, he reached out to Heineken and he didn't hear anything, which is kind of sad. That is definitely kind of sad that happened. However, where is it? Didn't I save it? Where is that? Where's that guy? Oh, there he is. All right. Taylor Heinicke is now going to be partnering with Bud Light for the fans. Bud Lighticky. Get it? Ha ha ha. It's all over Instagram and some other stuff. He's got a package and everything. I find it quite funny. Quite interesting indeed. It's very cool. So, this week's beer of the week. It's not much of a beer to many people, but in honor of Taylor Heinicke getting a partnership with Bud Light, we're going to drink a Bud Light on the podcast tonight. I mean, if you're looking for a light, easy beer to drink, Bud Light is probably the best one. It is the sponsor of the NFL at this moment in time as far as beer goes. It's not bad. Me, I'm not a big light beer person, to be honest with you, but I'll drink them. And so when I saw they had a sponsorship, I had to pick up some just because, yeah, support my guy. I support everything Washington football because I'm a Washington football fan. That's how it works. We support what we do, you know? And again, Bud Lighticky is going to be the new thing. Trust me. Very excited about that. Very cool. Very happy about it. I wish him all the best. I hope he does well in Washington. Yes, I am more of like a craft beer drinker and IPA guy, but you know what? A Washington football player gets a partnership with Bud Light, I'm going to support him. We're going to dive into the college football AP top 25 rankings and some news, and we're going to hop straight into baseball playoff preparation. Top 25 teams in the football AP poll. We start with Alabama, Roll Tide, shocker. Georgia, number 2. Oregon, number 3. Oklahoma, number 4. Iowa's number 5. Penn State's number 6. Texas A&M's number 7. Cincinnati's number 8. Clemson's number 9. Ohio State's number 10. Florida is 11. Notre Dame is 12. Mississippi 13. Iowa State 14. Interesting. Brigham Young 15. Arkansas 16. Coastal Carolina is 17. Wisconsin's 18. Michigan's 19. Michigan State's 20. North Carolina 21. Fresno State 22. Auburn is 23. UCLA is 24. And Kansas State snuck in at 25. So what are my thoughts about this? Roll Tide, shocker. They've been number 1 the first couple weeks. Oregon went up 1 game. Oklahoma dropped a game. Penn State went up 4 from 10 to 6, which is interesting. Clemson dropped 3. Ohio State dropped 1. Mississippi went up 4. Brigham Young went up 8. Arkansas went up 4. Michigan went up 6. UCLA dropped 11 spots. Good grief. I mean, that happens sometimes, but God, I didn't think that was going to happen to this team. I mean, I don't know. Fucking crazy. Alright, so we got some news. College football playoff board delays vote on 12-team proposal. College Football Playoff Board of Managers, which provides 11 presidents, chancellors, and the authority to change the playoff, will not vote next weekend on a proposed 12-team format for delaying any major changes to current 4-team field. So they're still thinking about adding to the College Football Playoff. What do you guys think? You guys want it to be just 4 teams? You want it to be 8? You want it to be 6? You want it to be 12? You want it to be like the college basketball? What do you think? What is your opinion of that? Let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna talk baseball playoffs real quick. Basically, I'm gonna talk about all the teams that are eliminated. They just finally updated this, which I can't even believe it took this long. It's in the last week of September. I don't think there's gonna be that many more baseball games, but like another week. So the Orioles eliminated, Tigers, Royals, Twins eliminated, Angels and Rangers eliminated, Marlins and Nationals eliminated, Cubs, Pirates eliminated, Diamondbacks eliminated. So we've got Tampa Bay Rays have a playoff spot secured. Nobody in the Central American League has one secured. White Sox are 10.5 games ahead of the Indians, going to be changed to the Guardians next year soon. But yeah, they're ahead by almost 11 games. Nobody secured in the West. Astros have an 8-game lead over the Mariners and the A's. Braves have a 3-game lead over the Phillies, 7 games over the Mets in the National League East, which is pretty cool, pretty good. I'll get into the job news that I had real quick. It's Wednesday, you know what that means. That's right, site, it's hump day! So I had a job interview today with BAE Systems supporting a certain government customer. The interview went extremely well. I blew them away apparently with like, you know, it's an asset manager position, something I've been doing my whole fucking career, so I'm not even nervous about it. But I did just find out that my position ends tomorrow with this temp company I've been working for. So yeah, obviously I've been looking into, you know, a new job. I have a second interview tomorrow at 3, and if all goes well like it's supposed to in front of like their CEO and stuff, because I just have to answer a few questions. From what it sounds like, they're gonna give me an offer letter Friday or Monday, and I'm gonna start in a week or 2. Which would be perfect timing. I'm very excited about it. It's more money, better benefits, and it's actually a 5-year contract. So as long as no stupid bullshit happens, everything will be good to go, and I'm very excited about it. Speaking of Nintendo, we are going to go over... Nintendo announced today that there's going to be a Direct tomorrow. What do you guys want to see from the Nintendo Direct? What is your, like, perfect situation? This is the absolute best thing Nintendo could do as far as announcing a game release on the Switch or a certain system to be added to the Switch Online or anything. Is there anything you guys could think of that would be really, really cool for them to do? Because I got a few ideas, I'll tell you that much. Definitely have a few ideas. And yes, this stream is not sponsored by Bud Light, but, you know, I support my Washington football team. Bring back Mario Kart Double Dash. There is talk there could be another Mario Kart game. There's also talk that they could bring the Nintendo 64 to the Virtual Console, which would be really cool. You know, the Wii had it right. If I remember correctly, the Nintendo Wii had, like, a Virtual Console with, like, a ton of different consoles on there from, like... Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, the Jaguar, the N64, and a bunch of other stuff on there. Why haven't them do that yet? We could run GameCube games. That's true. But I mean, the point is, there is such a vast library of Nintendo games. If Nintendo wants people to stop emulating, they need to release these games on their Virtual Console, because that's basically an emulator. All you would have to do, seriously, premium service or just add a couple things to it, it would be so much better. More Nintendo games, more Super Nintendo games, a Nintendo 64, a Game Boy library. That would be so big. I've talked to so many people and they've all told me if they put like if they had libraries of games, right? Like let's say they had a Mario library where like if you had a premium service, you had X amount of Mario games. Not just Mario 1, 2, 3, Lost Levels, Dr. Mario, and Super Mario World, and Super Mario World 2. I'm talking like Mario Paint, and Mario's Missing, and Mario RPG, and Mario, what's that other one called? Paper Mario. They could have all those games on there. They could have all the Zelda games on there, not just a few. All of them. They could have all these Metroid games on there. They're about to release Metroid Dread. They want more people to play Metroid. Put the games on the platform. It's so much easier. I know they want to make money. We all want to make money. Raise the price of the online and add to it. People will buy it. It's only $20 a year right now. It's nothing. I don't know if they'll do that this early. Consider you could buy patched Nintendo game. Yeah, but the Nintendo DS is dead. The 3DS is basically dead. Are they even releasing any new games on there anytime soon? Because I don't believe so. As far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure that the Nintendo 3DS is done for. Like, it's expired. Like, yeah, you could buy the system and then buy, like, the Pokemon games for $10 each and some other stuff. But people want to play it on the Switch. They don't want to play it on the 3DS. They want to play it on the Switch. The Switch has everything else on it that they want. I mean, I get the point you're making. Nope, 3DS is dead. They stopped production years. Yeah, exactly. Why would you want to buy, like, okay, so I can buy a 3DS for half price, right? Like I said, though, with the 3DS being dead, though, why would you buy one just to play games on it? It's not worth it. I'd rather... You're about to release a new Switch, that OLED Switch, right? With the background and stuff. Russian water, how am I not surprised? I'm going to have to buy a new bottle soon, but that's fine. Got the bottle right here. I got it last Christmas, lol. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like... A lot of people won't want to do that, though. And there's nothing against one of my favorite systems, 3DS. Yeah. And a lot of people love the Wii. But it's dead. Technically. That's the thing. But, I mean... Nintendo has such a library and a background of video games that they could add to the catalog and just raise a little bit of money to the price and people would buy it. Tens of thousands of millions of people would buy all this stuff. You know, but again, I mean, if you prefer buying the 3DS and buying games for, I don't know, like they're like a couple dollars to like $10, $15, $20 each, that's not a bad route to go. But you just have to know that you're not going to get any new games on the 3DS. You're just going to be playing old games. But if you're comfortable with that, I don't blame you. It's not a bad thing to do. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying the majority of the population would not want to do that. I know I wouldn't personally. I have a Switch. Why would I want to buy a 3DS again? I had a DS. And I just lost interest in it. Alright. I actually pay full price for it. Ew, there are full price? What games are you buying on the 3DS that are full price? Oh my god. I mean, if there's a game that you really like on there, I understand. But I don't know. You can't buy a 3DS anymore. You can't? Ooh. At least retail. Well, I mean, you could go to like a mom and pop shop or like you could probably get one from like Second and Charles or some one of those like shops that, you know, where they have old systems and stuff. Agent Dark Cloud, cheers to you. Thank you so much again for the sub. I really appreciate it. Whew. Oh, well that's why he paid full price. They're all Pokemon games. Pokemon X, Omega Ruby, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Super Mystery Dungeon. I've never played the dungeon games. Are they a lot of fun? I still buy 3DS games. You're a collector though. That's a little different. You collect a lot of games. So I mean, I would put you in a different class compared to like the average consumer. But yes, yeah, there are people that collect. All I'm saying is people would spend money if Nintendo added certain things. The Dungeon series are a different kind of grindy. Okay. I mean, I have at least one of the Dungeon series on one of my emulators. I could always try it out. I might. That's all I'm trying to say though. Like, if for some reason, like let's say the Switch added a premium service to their online, right? Let's say it's a $40, but you get different games. Games that might be rare, games that might be harder to find as like far as, you know, console games. What would that game have to be for you to purchase it? Would it have to be like Chrono Trigger? Would it have to be something else that's like really rare or an expensive cartridge? It's not entirely about getting levels, but having enough RNG to recruit good teammates. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense though. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a different kind of Pokemon game. That sounds like fun though. But like I said, you know, with the Virtual Console on the Switch right now, the big thing that I'm noticing is they've got some decent games, but they don't really have anything that's just like, I have to have this and I want this, you know. But if they add the Game Boy catalog, Game Boy Color catalog, or an N64 catalog, things will change. Things will definitely change. I know that they added some stuff for like a new controller, which is rumored to be an N64 type controller. That would be huge. But again, what do you expect for the Nintendo Switch Direct? I'm expecting Splatoon 3. I'm expecting maybe a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 preview, a new Mario game. I'm really hoping for some Virtual Console news though. That's the one thing I want. I want to see more Virtual Console news. I want to see, we're adding X systems, we're adding certain games. They have to release Breath of the Wild 2 soon. I mean, they should, but Nintendo is notorious for taking their fucking time and releasing shit. I mean, how long have we been here watching all their stuff that they do, and they still cannot get their head out of their ass for all this stuff? It's crazy, but it's totally true. They've waited this long for Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, if they preview it now, it'll be out in 2022 at some point, but I don't know when. No idea. I'm sorry. I'm so pissed I keep doing dumb shit with Prime 4. Oh yeah, Metroid Prime 4. I was watching a YouTube video where someone was talking about how they like skipped over Metroid Prime 4 or something because they have that Metroid Dread game out, and it's like a different style of Metroid game. They should take their time anyways. Their best sellers are the most rushed products in Pokemon. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, they're not utilizing their best sellers the way they should. I didn't care about the DLC or the expansion pass in Sword and Shield. I didn't give two shits. I know some people might have been a little mad about it, but me as a Pokemon collector, as a fan of the series, give me more Pokemon. I'll buy it. That's the main reason I bought the Switch, was for the Pokemon games. I just added a couple others here and there for sales and stuff like Animal Crossing, Mega Man Collection. But overall, if they released every Pokemon game on the Switch, Nintendo, I'm talking to you right now. Listen to me if you're here. If you put every Pokemon game on the Switch and price them between $5 and $20 to $25, mostly retail price, I guarantee you that me and my wife would buy one of each of them. I would buy red, wife would buy blue, gold, silver, black, white, diamond, pearl, ruby, sapphire, you name it, we'd buy it. Mario took a backseat lately, kind of. But you know, they did release that Mario 3D trilogy, right? Remember? They released Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine or something, and some other Mario game was like a 3D All-Stars trilogy, but then it went off the shelves. It's still on shelves, but they stopped producing it. Is that why they're now releasing the N64 so they can add these games to it and some other ones later, like the Wii and the GameCube? People have been speculating about this stuff for a while now. I've seen YouTube videos for the last like 3 weeks. I'm calling it now. The only $5 Pokemon games are Gen 2, maybe Gen 3. Well, yeah. $5. If they did $5 for Pokemon games, it'd be Gen 1, Gen 2, and maybe Gen 3 if you're lucky. If you're lucky. But I'd still spend it. Who wouldn't pay $15? Well, I'd pay $30 to buy all of them, or $45 or whatever it is, because you've got red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, and emerald. Excluding emerald is still big. It's huge, absolutely huge. Nintendo's on a gold mine. If they release a Pokemon game at $5 a pop, and like 200 million people buy it, how much money is that? That's a ton of money. That's the whole point. They are sitting on a gold mine. I mean, that's what they did with the Wii. They had different games for like a couple bucks here and a couple bucks there. One of my buddies had a Wii. I used to go over there and play the games all the time, like Mario and Zelda and Donkey Kong and stuff. And it was fun. And he used to just purchase games here and there when he felt like it. The Wii, the Switch should be doing that. The Switch should have a service where you can premium and buy games or have better selection of games. That's what they really need. I know Splatoon 3 is going to come out with some news tomorrow. I know that Pokemon Legend of Arceus is probably going to have a little bit of news tomorrow just because for fun, why not? Will they have a new Smash character? Who knows? Will they have some Super Mario new game? I don't know. I'm not sure. Will they break out something completely odd that we've never heard of? Probably. But the whole point is, all we really need to do is just see what Nintendo's gonna do. But Nintendo needs something big. They have to compete with Xbox Game Pass, which is huge. Xbox Game Pass is really, really huge. And it's on PC as well. The fact that Xbox and PC can play together so easily, it puts a little bit of pressure on PlayStation and Nintendo. A little bit. PlayStation has great exclusives. They'll always have great exclusives. Xbox doesn't have as many great exclusives. We have Halo and some other stuff. But overall, Nintendo needs more. They can't just have this crappy system that doesn't have enough games and expect people to buy it. When you can literally buy and build a Raspberry Pi for like what, 50, 60 bucks, load a bunch of ROMs on there, and you're set. You're set. You can load every single ROM on there. Maybe a handful of them don't work, right? A handful or two of them don't work. But you can still play the majority of all those games, and there you are. And then Nintendo wonders, you know, well, how do we get people from stop using emulators? You put the games on your system. Put Chrono Trigger on the Switch. Put Final Fantasy games on the Switch. Put Pokemon games on the Switch. Maybe not the, you know, like the Radical Red and stuff, the fan-made games, but the regular releases, yeah. That's just my rant about it. Nintendo has a lot of work to do. When they finally get their together, you know, they really do need to get their together. Fan games don't exist in them. That's sad, because the fan games are a lot of fun, to be honest with you. The fan games are amazing. But, I mean, what are you going to do? They don't get it. Whatever works, I guess. Any other expectations from the Switch, the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, guys? It should be like afternoon, evening tomorrow is when it's going to start. I think it's like 3 p.m. Pacific, which is, yeah, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, so I'll be watching it for sure. That is absolutely going to be on my watch list tomorrow. I am super excited about it, mostly just because I am a Nintendo fan. Always have been. I love Nintendo. I just wish that Nintendo would get some of their shit together. If they could just get some of their shit fixed, that'd be great. But again, I'm not the one who decides all this stuff. I just enjoy the content and hope for the best. Developers reportedly in talks for a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 revival project. This is huge to me because I was a big, super huge, big fan of Marvel vs. Capcom series. The Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superhero, whatever arcade game you played where you fought in Marvel vs. Capcom. If you played that game, you understand how good it is. It's amazing. The fact that they can take superhero characters versus amazing Capcom characters like from Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and other crazy Capcom games like Captain Commando and shit, and they could have them fight each other. It's amazing. It was awesome. I loved it. The fact they had Arthur in there from Ghosts and Goblins, the fact that they had I would watch Marvel vs. Capcom 3 match all the time in 2019. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, 2, and 3 were great. Marvel vs. Capcom, like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, wasn't really a big thing for me. This is how I feel about it. Yeah, not a fan of that one compared to the other ones as far as the series goes. But I'll say this: I used to go to the arcade and play those. Hell, I used to go to Red Robin with my family when I was a kid, teenager or whatever. We'd go out to dinner. They would give me a stack of quarters. I didn't really need that many, and I would just play Marvel vs. Capcom until my food was ready. And I used to beat people's asses in that game using characters like Spider-Man, Ryu, Wolverine, Gambit, Iceman. I'm telling you, Iceman was really f***ing good in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because of his ice shield and his ability and shit. Hold up, Red Robin had machines? At least here where I live, they did. Yeah, I don't think they do anymore really have any machines. Maybe a Cruisin' USA machine still. But they used to when I was a kid. This was back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, like when I was a teenager. I'm a little older now, but yeah. Red Robin used to have a couple machines. It was like 3 or 4. It wasn't really like a big arcade, like a Round 1 or anything. Or like Aladdin's Castle or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom was one of the best fighting games ever. Like, I know everybody has a soft spot for different things like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. All great, classic, amazing fighting games. Tekken, great game. I mean, King of Fighters was pretty good. Virtua Fighter was okay, just not my cup of tea. What's your favorite fighting games? If you had to choose one fighting game, you guys tell me what your favorite one is. Mine is Street Fighter, personally. I enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I enjoyed, Killer Instinct, but my favorite was Street Fighter. It always has been, always will be. But Marvel vs. Capcom was amazing to me because just the fact that you could, put different characters together, make teams, and just have this fun storyline of stuff to do. It was great. It was amazing. And the fact that they're thinking about bringing it back. Oh, please. And please make it cross-play so we can play with other people on different systems. Hell yeah. Give me my Spider-Man, Iceman, and Gambit combo. Good luck to your ass. I play Street Fighter 4 Fight 3 minutes a game. Stop trying to get Dudley Ultras to work. Ugh. Not a fan of Dudley. He is definitely not my forte for Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4, I used Sakura and Sagat. Those were my mains in Street Fighter 4. I could also use a lot of other characters, but I like to call them Ryu-based characters because they do the same moves basically. They use, the Hadouken, the Dragon Uppercut, Shoryuken Punch, the Hurricane type kick type moves and stuff, except Sagat has the knee. Sagat has the tiger shots, like tiger, and shoots thing at people, and then he's got the tiger knee, which is a different dynamic, and he's got the tiger uppercut that takes like half the screen up. I used to love using him. He has a lot of priority in his moves, and a lot of his uppercuts can break through other people's moves, which is something I learned very quickly, and it was very useful to me. How the fuck do you make 360 punch X3 work with a cripple? I have no idea. I never understood how some people could do certain supers with people like Zangief and Vega and some other people. The people they have to like spin the control around and hold this, and like you have to charge for a few seconds. How do you do that without messing it up like so well? How much practice did you get? Like, I am in awe with these people because they just, seriously, it's amazing. It amazes me. The fact that you could perfectly time Guile's fucking flash kick every fucking time pisses me off, but at the same time, I'm still in awe of it. Hats off to you. That's the combo for Dudley's Corkscrew Ultra, somehow I remember. I mean, man, memorization's crazy. I mean, the Shinku Hadouken for Ryu is down, forward, down, forward, down, forward, down, forward, and then the punch 3. Like, you just remember this stuff. If you played it enough times, you remember all this shit. It gets embedded in your head. Like, I could pick up a different game that I haven't played in like 5-10 years. I still remember most of the stuff, and I just reteach myself how to do the rest. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, there have been times where I haven't picked up a game in like 5 years, and I still remember what the I'm doing. Isn't that crazy? 5+ years, I still remember how to play it, what to do, this and that, everything else. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, I do also want to remind everybody that this is Reproductive Cancer Awareness Month, so we are, trying to raise money and awareness. If you would like to donate, there's a link there below. No pressure, obviously. I just want to make sure that I do my part because, being affected by that horrible disease, with my wife having to go through it, I feel like I should every year help to raise money and awareness for that cause because it affected me personally. That's my opinion. You know how it goes. But yeah, fighting games. I mean, I'm not the best at fighting games. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But here's the deal, right? Here's the fucking deal. You remember the combos out of nowhere. Like, I can still remember a couple fatalities from back in the day, like some Liu Kang fatalities, some Sub-Zero fatalities and stuff from back in the day when I used to play, Mortal Kombat a lot. I'm not super huge into Mortal Kombat like other people are, but it's okay. It's a fun game. It's just not my favorite. Like, I got buddies who are like super into it, but that's not me personally, you know? That's just never really been like my big thing, to be honest with you, but that's life. That's how it goes. Liu Kang mains. Terp. I mean, I liked Liu Kang. What do you like? It's kind of like how in like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I used to main Fei Long just to piss people off because people hated fighting Fei Long. Fei Long was fun as shit to use as Street Fighter, but yeah, you use the Bruce Lee characters. They piss people off. It's fun. Every fighting game has a Bruce Lee character, at least one. Look it up. I'm telling you. I'd say just about every fighting game has a Bruce Lee character. Fei Long was fast. Yeah, he was super fast, and there was like that fucking Rising Dragon kick he did. It was crazy. Great anti-air attack. Absolutely great. Absolutely. Alright, next order of business. Family Guy leaves Adult Swim after 18 years to FX. Looks like the future it'll be at some point on Disney Plus. So if you didn't know, Family Guy is moving to FX now. They have left Adult Swim, the network that actually saved the show. It's kind of crazy that it's leaving Adult Swim, in my opinion. We got this news like a few days ago. 4 days ago. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be moving to FX, which is owned by Disney, but I don't think it's going to be on Disney Plus yet or anything. I thought this was kind of weird that they were moving because Family Guy's just been like a staple for like Adult Swim forever. As far back as I can remember. But, you know, I mean, again, I don't watch Family Guy too much. But the fact that I know that FX now has King of the Hill and Family Guy, Adult Swim is about to lose some viewers. Yeah, they are, unfortunately, but that's what happens. You know, they like a company buys the rights or they sell the rights to a different company, a different show, and look what happens. I mean, Adult Swim has some great shows on it from back in the day. You know, I like a couple of the shows like Space Ghost, Coast to Ghost, and what was it? Aqua Teen Hunger Force and some other stuff. But overall, yeah, Adult Swim, I kind of grew out of it. You know, Adult Swim is all right. But I mean, again, you have to think about the audience. You know, I mean, I know Rick and Morty's on there. I watch Rick and Morty, but I don't watch Rick and Morty on there usually. Bob's Burgers has been on there. Squidbillies, Boondocks. There's some good shows. But I mean, what do you like? What do you think about Family Guy leaving? Like, is that a big deal? I think it's a big deal. Space Ghost is goated. Yeah, Space Ghost Coast to Coast is one of the best shows on there, period. I don't care what anybody says. Space Ghost was one of the best shows that ever happened on that channel for Adult Swim. I used to stay up late at night. I used to sneak out of bed just to watch that fucking show. You know, just so, you know, I would get grounded. I would feel like it's fucking worth it. I want to watch the show. Can't record it. At that day and age, I wasn't able to DVR TV shows and shit. So guess what? I would sneak out in the middle of the night, be like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd go watch it. And then I'd go back to sneak back to bed. You know? That's how it is. I mean, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law was great. I can't really think of any other shows I really watched on there. I mean, you know, I watched Robot Chicken. But like, you know, Robot Chicken kind of got to the point where it just wasn't as funny. Like, the first couple seasons were really funny. But after that, it just kind of got like, I liked Robot Chicken. I mean, like I said, I liked the first couple seasons. But after that, I was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's funny, but it's like how some people just get, like, you hear the same kind of jokes over and over and over again. Sooner or later, they do get a little old. Like, you'll laugh at them, but it's like, Like, would I go out of my way to watch Robot Chicken right now? No. But if somebody had, like, the DVD, or somebody was like, let's watch the first couple seasons of Robot Chicken, I'd be like, hell yeah. Some skits are better than others. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I still remember, what was that skit? It was the Transformers. Yeah, it was the Transformers, and Optimus Prime just died from, like, what was it? He got, like, a disease, and he died. and then the Human Torch was sitting on a doctor's table, and he was like, "It burns when I pee," and then Optimus Prime popped up. "What did I just tell you?" He like burst through the screen. It was so funny. That just had me rolling when I was younger. That show was great when I was younger, definitely. We used to drink and watch that all the time. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, again, you know, some skits were definitely better than others. Robot Chicken had its time. Robot Chicken's pretty good. I don't think they make any new episodes of that anymore, do they? Do they even make Robot Chicken episodes, like, new? I don't think they've made new Robot Chicken episodes forever. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Oh, actually they do. Or at least they're about to. They just made, they just started their 11th season? I didn't even know that. I may have to check that out just for fun. I didn't know they were still making episodes. Good grief, that's crazy. Only 11 seasons. Huh, I mean, I didn't know they had an 11th season. I really had no idea. But, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. 12 episodes. Damn. It's, is that going to be the last of it? Or are they not going to make any more episodes after this season? Feels like 20. Right? Yeah, you feel like, now that I see that they've been going on for like 11 seasons, I'm like, holy shit, I'm shocked. But, you know, that's what happens with TV shows. They get old out of nowhere. You know, a lot of shows, you can't replace certain shows. You can't replace certain things. Like, I feel like we've talked about wrestling. I feel like wrestling is way down the hill compared to what it used to be in the 90s and the early 2000s, in my opinion. That's life. If you look at TV in general, a lot of the shows, like, the last couple shows that I've really watched, like, attentively on TV, like, that actually run on TV, are The Flash and The Big Bang Theory. And The Big Bang Theory has been off the air for a little while. I watch Young Sheldon. It's okay. It's kind of neat to see, like, his childhood, but I prefer the older one. I prefer the slapstick comedy and the nerdiness and stuff. But I do like the Young Sheldon episodes. And I like The Flash. I think, honestly, DC has done way better with TV shows than they've done with movies. It's just my opinion. Hopefully they change that opinion with some of the new movies coming out at some point. Like the Batman and stuff, but we'll see, I guess. Who the knows? But yeah, we'll see. I am not completely sure how that's going to go, but I mean, I haven't watched TV since early 2020. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't watch a whole lot of TV. Like, I watch mostly sports on TV, and that's it. Like, I don't watch a whole lot of, like, TV. We have Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. Why would I watch other stuff? And then, obviously, I watch people on Twitch, and then I stream on Twitch. So, I mean, you know, what do you do? Like, TV, obviously, like, they're putting all these new TV shows on streaming services for a reason, because people would rather watch them on the streaming service and binge it than wait a week to watch more on the network and stuff. And that makes perfect sense to me. You know, it took years for them to figure this out, but yeah, it's the total truth. That's how this works, and it's crazy to think that that's what it took. But yeah, that's definitely what it took. You know, it's nutty. But at the same time, I have a whole Xfinity library. I can't bring myself to use it. Yeah, I have a whole Fios library. I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. I have a ton of channels. Tons of channels. But half of my problem is they don't have anything really good. Like, did you know Ed, Edd n Eddy is on HBO Max? Like, I gotta get HBO Max back again. Because HBO Max has Ed, Edd n Eddy, and that's amazing. And they have Friends. I like Friends. I grew up with it. Shoot me if you don't like Friends. Whatever. Best cartoon. Yeah, best cartoon was Ed, Edd n Eddy. Fuck, Rolf was the GOAT. Ed was hilarious. The whole show was just a total banger. Just absolutely amazing. Died too soon. I know. It was like, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of great cartoons came from Cartoon Network during that time in the period. That time period was great. Cow and Chicken, hilarious. Dexter's Lab was pretty good too. The original Powerpuff Girls I thought was alright. Johnny Bravo was hilarious. I'm sorry. Man, I'm pretty. That motherfucker used to make me laugh all the fucking time. He'd be like combing his fucking hair and shit. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Yeah, that's another great one. Absolutely great show. And I'm not even a fan of like scary stuff, but I used to love watching Courage. And Grandpa comes out of nowhere with a mask. Ooga booga booga! Shit was so great. Those cartoons were amazing. What happened to that? Like, after like Kids Next Door and some other stuff as far as like Cartoon Network was concerned, I kind of got out of it. I didn't really watch Adventure Time. Some people love it. They think it's goated. That's fine. Everyone has opinions. But that's where I drew the line with cartoons. I didn't watch a whole lot of those later. And then I started watching Rick and Morty because a lot of people told me to. And I think it's hilarious. Rick and Morty is very funny. Now it's just ultra cheesy kid stuff. Yeah, I mean, but what do you expect? That's what kids like. Kids like ultra cheesy shit. I mean, the first couple seasons of SpongeBob, goated. Absolutely hilarious. I remember Opposite Day, the episode, you know, where everyone was like, I'm Squidward. He's Squidward. He's Squidward. You're Squidward. I'm Squidward. Are there any other Squidwards I should know about? And then f***ing Gary has like this big nose. He goes, meow. That's so funny. It still makes me laugh. Old SpongeBob episodes make me laugh. The new ones, they're not that funny to me. Not all of them. Some of them are. But I mean, overall, cartoons change. They just do. Yeah, after the creator died, I never decided to milk the show for what. Yeah, but it's a moneymaker. I'm not surprised they milked it. I'm not surprised one damn bit because, again, it's a moneymaker. People love that show. My son loved that show. I used to have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning because my son would get up and watch SpongeBob like all day in the morning while eating breakfast. And the only reason I let him is because when I was a kid, I used to get up and watch cartoons from 7 o'clock in the morning until forever. You know? Like, I'm talking Animaniacs and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and X-Men and Spider-Man and all sorts of stuff. There's a YouTube video on that. Oh yeah, really? Doesn't surprise me. But yeah, just like, TV shows have changed, but the reality stays the same. If it sells, they're gonna milk it until it's dry. People love SpongeBob. There's so many games that have come out from it, movies and other stuff, toys. Yeah. I remember one time there was like a SpongeBob 200 or something. It was like a little race. And all these race cars had like different themed SpongeBob cars. And my son wanted to watch it because he thought it was the coolest thing. And he likes cars. He likes watching racing. He got a little bored after a while, obviously. Because just sitting there watching a bunch of cars, they're making a left turn, you know? Not exactly the most exciting thing for a kid, but he still liked it for the most part. And I mean, again, that's the draw of SpongeBob. When you take something and you add it to something else and you put them together, people are gonna go to it and check it out because they're drawn to it because they're like, oh, well, I like SpongeBob. This has a SpongeBob theme to it. Why not check it out? People do that all the time. But that's life. That's what happens. It's crazy the way things are these days. I want to thank everybody who's hung out in the podcast tonight, though. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are the GOATs. I really appreciate the support. You know, you guys have definitely gotten me through a whole lot. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. Comment down below. Like the video. Tell me what you're thinking about any of the topics that I've talked about tonight. We're going to get ready to go raid out. And don't forget that we have a lot of different things coming up for September. We are now 11 subs away from a gift card giveaway. The first one. I'll have more like sub goals for October. Obviously, they'll be Halloween themed. I just appreciate the support. We do have some great ideas for October though, including but not limited to Phasmophobia stream, especially if a sub goal gets hit. Charlotte might even play Phasmophobia if you guys really want to see that. Let me know. We'll see what happens. That's going to be the fun of it. Alright. Looks like we are going to raid Mr. Half. Alright, thank you guys so much again for the support tonight. I really appreciate it. Love you guys to pieces. Let's go say hi to Half real quick. See you guys on Friday.